Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. Hello, channel Code of Mind. I want to share my story with you. It has not given me peace for about 2 years now. Here is what happened to me. I had a neighbor. I knew her since my very childhood. We lived next door. Our doors were on the same landing. My mother was friends with her and she practically lived at our house. She was always strange. She joined some sect, the kind where they gave away 10% of any income. She told everyone how cool it was there. Then she completely renounced people except for my mother. Years passed, I grew up, changed apartments, changed my life. But somehow, many years later, I found out that something had happened to her. The neighbor had lost her memory completely and she was put in a nursing home. And so one day I decided to visit her, since she had absolutely no one left. And my mother had passed away. I arrived, went into the facility, gave her name, and I was led to her room. I approached her, said hello, and hugged her. She did not recognize me. I started telling her who I was, where we lived, and who my mother was. But she completely did not understand who I was. She did not understand what city she was in. I told her about her son, but she deeply did not understand what I was talking about. I spent about 2 hours with her. I tried in every possible way to evoke at least some memory of her past, but it was a blank. But in this whole story, what struck me the most was when I was leaving, she asked me to bring her a Bible and said, "I know that all these demons are leading me around. I know that with God, I was good." The next day, of course, I came to her along with the book and photographs that showed her, her friends, and my mother, with whom she had exclusively communicated for the last 10 years or so. They were inseparable, but she did not recognize anyone at all. And suddenly she opens the book and starts reading. I felt awkward leaving, so I began to listen to her. She put the book aside and said, "How I miss my sect." I was in shock. A person does not remember who they are, does not remember where they lived, does not remember people, does not remember their son, knows absolutely nothing about themselves. But she clearly remembers her sect. And right then, I started thinking, where did they flash this program into her? How can this be? She was our neighbor for about 35 years. Her son left somewhere at the age of 40. She has zero information about this. And now thoughts visit me. Who are we without thought? These 2 days turned my life upside down. Strange people with bright makeup walk down the corridor, thinking they were of blue blood and they believe in it. And they don't care that nobody else believes it and considers them sick. This is their thought. A woman can be Napoleon, a man can be the Queen of England. And they truly consider themselves as such. Now I'm putting this whole story together and want to ask a question. Maybe we are just a collection of programs? The neighbor clearly remembers the program, the sect. Other people consider themselves great dictators. But after all, this isn't taken out of thin air. They lost their thoughts, and only what was once embedded remained, maybe even not in this life. Thank you for letting me share this with you. Let's reason together. Who are you without thoughts? Imagine you wake up in the morning, but you don't know who you are. You don't know what your name is. You don't know how old you are. Are you a man or a woman? Where are you? Why are you here? You look at your hands and do not recognize them. You see a face in the mirror and it is a stranger's. You hear someone calling you by name, but this name means nothing to you. You stand there. You are silent. No thoughts, no memories, no reference point on how to live further. Everything that used to be called you has vanished. And you begin to understand. You are not the body. You are not the passport. You are not someone's expectations. You are a set of thoughts that were in your head, and now they are gone, and there is no you. You are just a function, a container, a living being that no longer has an I. And what scares you the most? You continue to live, you can eat, walk, look, breathe, but inside there is absolute emptiness. You do not choose, you simply react. Reflexes, habits, residual reactions, like a biorobot whose operating system has been erased. Without thoughts, you do not exist. You are turned off. You are not a human being. You are a shell. That is why the fear of losing memory is not just the fear of forgetting. It is the fear of disappearing completely. Because without thoughts, you are nobody. If you are a thought, then where does it come from? You do not create your thoughts, they simply appear, like a flash, like an echo, like a signal. You walk down the street, and suddenly, what if I don't make it in time? What if he doesn't love me? What if I get fired? You didn't choose to think this. The thought simply arose. You are not its master. You are a receiver. It's as if you are connected to a radio station. You catch signals, but you don't know who is sending them. Advertising, parents, teachers, social networks. All of them told you what to think, whom to fear, what to consider the norm. And you took this for your own thinking. But this is not you. You are someone else's signals accepted as your own. Every thought you have right now was once implemented. People instill the world into each other, and you became the one they created in your head. We even think for other people. We create their thoughts in our own heads. Have you noticed this? Someone just looked at you and you have already built a whole scenario in your head. He judged. He thought I was strange. He is sure I am a failure. But the person didn't say a word. He could have just been lost in his own thoughts. But you invented his thought, placed it in his head, and began to live with this thought as if it were the truth. We are constantly experiencing a world created by our own thought, not by objective reality, but by what we have imagined for ourselves. Every thought of yours is a projection not of the external world, but of your own pain, fears, and expectations. Have you noticed how often we speak with our loved ones? I thought you were angry with me. I decided you didn't want me to call. I felt that I was not interesting to you. This is all not facts. These are your thoughts. You didn't ask, you invented it. And you began to live as if it were real. Your entire reality is thoughts about others that never actually existed. You think, you feel, and that means you create. Your inner world is a mirror of your thoughts, not of people. You do not see others. You only see your thoughts about them. Every thought is like a stroke on a canvas. And if inside you there is fear, shame, guilt, or expectations, your life will be written in exactly these colors. You do not live in reality. You live in an interpretation. You do not converse. You finish talking for others. Until you understand that thought is the source of illusion, you will not exit the matrix. You will not find out who is in front of you, because you created his image yourself. And the deeper you begin to track these thoughts, the cleaner your world will become, the more clearly you will see people, and maybe, for the first time, you will see yourself. What is a pre-flashed program? Are you you, or are you what was put into you? We are born clean, without fear, without shame, without a sense of guilt. But from the very first days, they begin to flash us, without asking, without explaining. Firmware is not just an idea. It is not a thought you can discard. It is a deep-seated installation that enters the body, the voice, the behavior, so that you don't even notice how you live according to it. You grew up and suddenly you are afraid to speak out loud. Why? You endure toxic relationships. Why? Every time you start from the position, I am not good enough. Why? Because this is not you. This is the firmware. Programs are sewn in unnoticed when you were scolded for emotions. When they said you are a boy, don't cry, or you are not smart, just beautiful. When they laughed at you. When they ignored you. When you were praised only for success. You grew up and every emotion, every look, every punishment became a code. And you turned into a function, into a role, into a mask. Now imagine a person loses their memory. Everything is erased. Name, family, experience. But the reaction remains. They are still afraid, or they shout, or they cower. Why? Because the firmware is deeper than memory. It does not live in the head. It is in the body. It is an autopilot that turns on without your participation. Let's take an extreme example. A person considers themselves Napoleon. Strange? No. This is just an overwritten program. When internal pain or emptiness becomes unbearable, the psyche activates any personality that will protect it. I am Napoleon is an armor, a salvation from failure, pain, and insignificance. It is the same with the programs I am nobody, I am a victim, I am to blame, I must save everyone. This is not what you chose, this is what you absorbed. But now the main thing, you can track your program, look it in the face, and make a choice. You are the consciousness that can see all this and change it. Yes, some firmware is sown deeply, like that woman who forgot everything, but did not forget her sect. The program embedded itself in adulthood. This means that reflashing is possible. A new program is also a program. And if you remove the thought, only the bare firmware remains. Fear, prohibition, habit, trauma. Everything that is built in deeply, so deeply that it seems to be yours. But this is not you. This is the code that remained even when nothing was left of you. That is why it is important not just to think, but to track where the thought came from, whose it is, whether it is yours or whether it is imposed, implemented, flashed. You can live your whole life believing that you are afraid of the dark, of failure, of poverty, of loneliness. But what if this is not your fear? What if this is just a program passed down from those who were afraid before you? We come into this world to remember that we have the right to choose, the right to realize, erase, and start anew. You are not the fear. You are not someone else's installation. You are not an automatic reaction. You are the one who is capable of rewriting everything. I thank my subscriber for this powerful impulse for reflection. This is truly food for thought. Thank you for being with me on this channel. I wish you the best possible branch of reality. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.